Live deep in the avenue, it's the DammitJim show with your distractor in chief and, at this point, long lost friend, Sideshow Todd. Obviously, we've been away for a while for you folks that are actually listening, all 15 of you, which we appreciate. So we've got a great show. Let's get to the agenda. So we're going to talk about the Trumpster, quite a bit about that, a few different points, and of course the indictments that came down. Hit some football, and we talk about Jeff Flake, hometown guy, taking some shots. And we were going to do science stuff, but I forgot. So, at that.
What about the first science? Maybe we could talk about
Jim,
crackers. What about crackers?
Crackers?
Yeah, angry white crackers.
That's science in there?
That's the science you need to
be. The anti-scientist.
I think it is science to study the effect of the old angry white cracker.
Ooh, I know what you do for science. It's going to be dark, but, it's Halloween, so, we'll just get evil.
Yeah.
So I know what to do the science. The latest report that came out on the ocean risings.
Oh, they're going to go faster than they thought.
Yeah. Right. Well, look who's laughing. Kevin Costner. Ha ha, my movie's pretty relevant now, fuckers.
It's all Waterworld.
Waterworld makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it?
It sure does.
All right, so let's just get into it.
Right.
Jim, what do you think about the Trumpster this week?
Well, I think this is obviously a very big week with the first round of indictments coming out. We're all pretty.
Before we get to that, let's talk about the ineptitude. The general ineptitude you talk about with Paul Ryan.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Paul Ryan made that joke about. Well, we were talking earlier about the deal maker, and what a crappy
that was
deal
his
maker.
Exactly, yeah,
and because he interferes with their own processes, and then so it led to that Paul Ryan joke about like, well, what about the taxes? What, are you afraid that Trump's going to tweet his way in and screw up the process or whatever? He said, well, he'll be in Asia. And he started laughing. Right. He's like, "Oh, I shouldn't say that. But it was a joke, but it wasn't really a joke. It was like one of those like, yeah, he just gets in his own way with his little crazy tweets. And then the first thing he did is, he said, oh, the 401k will be this or that, or, that's not going to be touched, even though that was one of the pieces that they were looking at.
The rich guys are twisting their mustaches.
But here's even the larger thing about the ineptitude. And not just Trump, but you've got the voters, because you've got a party which has been beating the drum for fiscal responsibility ever since they lost the White House. Even though it's been under Republican administrations where this deficit has blown up, leading to our
considerably.
Debt to blow, the wars that we've had, and the fact that we had a balanced budget.
Creating the Homeland Security was a whole new department of government that did not exist
Medicare
under
D,
Bill Clinton. Thank you very much.
All kinds of things that didn't get paid for.
Yeah.
But here they are in power, able to. What's the first thing they're going to do before they do anything else? They want to do a tax cut, which is saying it's going to add another $1 trillion to the debt, in the next 10 years or whatever it is.
What's great about that is that they're counting on GDP at a record that it's we haven't seen since 1948. Well, like 7% growth or something like that. That's how it's going to work.
That's how it's
GDP is
going
to exactly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, guys, how do you take this guy seriously when the first thing they're going to do is blow up
fuzzy math?
And here's another one that was great. They said, well, they're talking about the average person's going to get a $4,000 reduction.
Yeah, reduction. Yeah.
Basically, you're going to make $4,000. The average, the average is. But that's like saying there's 10 people and there's 10 pieces of pie, and one person eats 9. The other 9 people cut up the last piece for themselves. But on average, there was 1 piece of pie per person.
Right.
So it's like, the average is the wrong word, because it's like, well, where's the actual dollars going?
Yeah.
We all know where they're going. They're going upstairs.
Upstairs.
And we've seen this before. It's been rolled out before.
And it doesn't work
every single time.
No.
And there's absolutely no evidence to believe that it won't fail
no
again
data.
this time. But you're willing to blow up the deficit, and then there's the debt.
Yep.
On this,
their political grandstanding.
Right. Meanwhile, if a Democrat hits the office, it's all about the debt and deficit, and we got to cut.
Yeah. Entitlements.
Well, now we're actually reaching a point where economists had said that we do have to do something about the debt, because there's a point where it won't be sustainable.
Right.
And we can have a big debt and be very, very productive country and very prosperous. But it has to be managed to some degree. This is pushing us past the point of no return.
Yes.
It goes like, it's like everything else they do. It doesn't matter if it's science or whatever. If it doesn't fit their political agenda, they just keep changing the facts around
until they cherry pick data
that they need to.
And use numbers that just aren't even realistic.
Yeah. Right.
To plug into their formulas to give out, to get out the equation, the answer that they want.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is more, getting back to Trump. Because those are actually the relatively smart people that just have a really very very bizarre worldview that benefits themselves.
They have people they have to answer to.
Yeah,
and those people are rich people who want to pay less taxes.
Yeah, they are,
yeah.
and they've invested a lot of money in these folks, and they expect something for their return.
Yeah.
I can understand that logic, and
they have more Mercedes.
You get to Trump, and you know what Trump reminds me? Remember the movie The Fifth Element with Gary Oldman played the evil guy, and when he just like knocked something off the table and it broke, and then all of a sudden all these things were like, oh look, that's how Trump is running the country. He just breaks stuff, and then watches everybody else jump on it and go through the chaos and try to sort it out. But it's bad. Here's another thing. I think the sanctions in Russia. You know what the sanctions in Russia they're saying haven't been applied yet? Because there's only one dude working in the sanction office for like the entire country. For all of the sanctions in the world, we have one person that works in that office. Which
that can't be true, really?
The news guy was like, let's see his inbox. Well, one of the problems that the Trump has had, the ineptitude that people aren't seeing, was that because he's such a polarizing character.
Can't get anyone appointed.
Well, he can find people who will go to the very, very top positions. But where he's getting creamed is all the middle management positions.
Right.
Because nobody wants to work for these guys. And you got scientists. There's all kinds of just absolute turmoil beneath the surface. Now, it doesn't affect the average person yet.
Right.
Because you don't see that. But that's going to affect you. And you can't, this absolute chaos in this White House, and the way this White House is run, and the way that they speak, and the way that they manipulate information and blatantly lie.
Already ran out of money because he had the Secret Service running out at top dollar.
Oh yeah,
floors in Trump Tower, not giving him a discount or anything, not giving him free. Oh, they're still paying his greedy ass.
I'm not sure he'd be allowed to legally. There's some weirdness with that
well,
stuff.
Whatever, you get my point.
Yeah, I get your point.
So they've already ran. That's a perfect example. Like, when did that ever happen under any other president?
No. Nope.
Fucking disgusting. Sorry then. So there's this shit,
and then you can go right to where you actually have Republican. Think about the unprecedented level of the fact that you've got people like Corker and Flake.
Jeff Flake wrote a whole fucking book about it.
He wrote a book about it,
and he knew it would destroy his career.
Yeah,
he knew it. He still had a really good shot at being reelected before he released that book.
Oh yeah, he was very popular in the state before that.
Well, he's sort of popular, not real popular, but
he was when he took office, I thought. But
no, he kind of lost popularity. But what put the nail in the coffin was that when he released that book.
Right.
Yeah.
He went against the
so big time.
In a lot of ways, and I'm not a Jeff Flake fan by any stretch.
Bigger fan than I used to be.
Well, it was a very brave thing he did in a way. You know? Once he knew he couldn't get elected. I don't know how brave it is if he knew he couldn't get elected, so then he got brave. But either way,
I think now the polls. Kristen Sinema. If you're getting crushed by Kristen Sinema in the polls, that's really, unfortunate for all of us. And she's a Democrat, and I've followed her whole career. I've actually met her.
Yeah,
physically met her. 15 years ago when she was just running for
state office.
She was running for Congress for the representative. For my district, when me and Dave were living on 21st Street.
When she went to Congress, okay, yeah.
Yes. No, local, state, state,
state Congress. Okay,
yeah,
right.
State Congress. So, I actually met her. She was real nice, but she's changed dramatically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And obviously we can't vote for the broad that's being supported by Trump because she's a loony too. She's big time, way worse. But it's just, God damn it. Now here we are. We have this great opportunity in the state to put somebody worth a damn in office, and we're stuck with, no, okay, fine. All right, go. Well,
this is
at least you're not Trump's candidate. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen in these primaries, I think. So, you got Bannon. You got these hard, one of the problems that the Republicans have had in the past, and they're going to walk into it hard this time, is in the primary, they primary so hard to the right that when they get into the general, they get people that can't compete. So that's even what Mitch McConnell has been banking on. He's like, they constantly put up unelectable people,
right,
and they get crushed. And this year specifically, it's going to be very difficult for these guys. Now in these gerrymandered districts, I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to get more of these Roy Moore types. But he
hasn't won yet. The guy in Alabama, right?
The former Chief Justice that got kicked out twice.
Yeah, he hasn't won yet, right? The election hasn't happened.
Well, he
has
to beat the Democrat. But okay, whatever.
But he's on the ticket.
He's on the ticket. Yeah. But they've already pretty much penciled him in because he's not. You're not going to win. A Democrat's not going to win that state. They don't think, but you never know because gerrymandering doesn't affect the state. The Senate level,
right?
It's a full state.
Yeah.
But all the congressional seats, there's a lot of them that are going to be in trouble, and they could very easily flip the House.
Well, everything passes the House is rubber stamp that Trump wants. It's the Senate where he gets held up because they don't have the super majority thing.
They don't have the super majority, and they have 3 or 4 Republicans who are willing to vote.
Fuck you,
yeah.
Susan Collins. There's one that chick's got some serious balls. I mean, she's going to be up for re-election too. She's not backing down.
Yeah, but she's in a much
Maine.
Yeah,
that's not really. If you're a Republican there, it's a little different than being a Republican in Alabama.
Yeah, they got their. Yeah, they have their.
Right, she's from Maine. Is that right?
Susan Collins from Maine.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, and Morawski's from Alaska. I mean, again, what's funny is that it's
that's a different kind of Republican. It's Republicans that I'm used to that I can deal with.
Yeah, people that you disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this other day. George W. Bush gave that speech,
right?
And I'm like, when George W. Bush is the voice of reason and compassion, and he's the one you want to follow,
or he's trying to bring those things to the conversation.
You're like, how far? Because
how far have we?
We lambasted that guy.
Oh God, I hated him.
Yeah. So I had an interesting experience.
I weeped every time he spoke.
I want to.
Now he looks like a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah, he does. I mean, you miss. It's like those memes. Miss me now.
Yeah.
Like, well, now I do. Now I do. I would take George W.
In a heartbeat.
Because I never thought he was an evil guy. I never thought he was I didn't think he was smart enough to be president.
I thought he was a puppet.
I didn't. I thought he wasn't inquisitive. I had my issues with him, but as a person, I never really had a concern, other than the fact that he thought he played the Jesus thing too hard. But that was just smart politics, I guess.
But he had to with his boozing. That's see, back in the day, evangelicals had a standard a candidate had to adhere to,
right?
And he had to denounce thoroughly his drinking and cocaine use.
Yes.
God bless him for both of those things. I'm sure he's fucking snorting lines right now. That's probably about the only reason why.
That's why we're getting the real George Bush back.
Well,
which we never met.
Did I tell you the story about him that I saw the documentary that he was in?
No.
Yes. This is shocking. This is what changed my whole entire viewpoint of George W. Bush.
Okay.
So there was, which I don't think many people know this about him. So when he was in office, he worked really closely with Bono to help end AIDS, child-transmitted AIDS in Africa.
Yeah, I was familiar with that.
Yeah, so there's this whole thing that they did, and he essentially they ended child-transmitted AIDS. It does not exist anymore on the continent of Africa, right?
Way to go, George.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, what was about it was like not only was okay, could you see Trump doing that? No fucking way. Number one. Number two, you should have heard more about it, in my opinion. But number three is when he was speaking during this thing, he was lucid, he was intelligent, he was well spoken. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And where is George W. Bush? Like, why wasn't this? I mean, he was articulate. He was animated about it because he obviously believed in it, right?
Right.
And it was just I'm like, what? This is the guy. I mean, I like this guy. This guy can shake his hand. This guy's all right. He did something pretty good for the world. So anyway, that changed my whole entire viewpoint of George W. Bush.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's like all these people that when you get into the political world, it gets so black and white. They're evil and horrible people. And the fact is, the vast majority of them are just people. And they might have political stuff they do. They all have to lie.
Sure.
They're in the system, and the system makes them behave a certain way. We see that. And then when somebody behaves outside of the norm, like what you see with the Trump, then the whole system begins to shake, and you're like wondering what the hell's going on. Well, but then when you meet these people outside of that system, like you said, you get the George W. We always kind of knew he'd be an okay guy.
Well, and
you
the thing
could
is,
sense that about him.
He had
just couldn't understand why he wanted to go to war so bad.
I think he and most of the people in his cabinet still believed that America was a force for good in the world. Now, how we define that good and how it should be administered, obviously there's, that's the debate, right?
Right.
But they still felt like we needed to participate in a way that, wasn't always aggression, right? Even though a lot of his foreign policy was aggressive. But there was other levers to push, right, that weren't involving missiles and bullets, right? And he was willing to push those levers, where Trump is just let's hit he's hitting the button right now, Jim. I'm telling you, and they're just tackling him every time he goes for it. What I mean? That's exactly what's happening. Yeah. George W. Bush would never have gotten any kind of verbal showdown with Kim Jong-il.
No, the worst thing he said is "Bring it on." He tried to be a little bit of a cowboy on stuff.
Right, but that was after 9/11.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then, but even then it was misspoken. You're like, that's not what you want to say. That's not presidential. Bring it on. That makes the cowboy type feel good, but that's just
when he flew down, he landed a jet on the aircraft carrier. Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, and then what's his face? Put that as he put mission accomplished in the beginning of his show. Oh, it was
Bill Maher.
No. The one was the sportscaster that he keeps getting fired because he's kind of a
Keith Olbermann.
Yeah, Olbermann. Yeah. He started every show with mission accomplished, day number 3072 or whatever it was.
Well, he came out with a book about Bush or about Trump.
Olbermann did,
yeah, because Olbermann was it was really kind of neat because they talked to him on NPR and they're like, well, how did you come about this book? He's like, well, I met Trump, I followed Trump back when he was owner of New Jersey Generals when he was when Olbermann was a sportscaster for CNN, and he's like, I did an in-depth interview with him then, and he's like, and I've been involved with him in his fight with so like he kind of takes it from the stance of picks up with this fight with the NFL and like how he can't ever let anything go because the NFL did not want him in. Some of the other owners from the USFL got into the NFL, right? Got teams. He was never. I mean,
gonna get one.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's like, listen, I've seen this long-standing grudge he's had with the NFL, and now as president, he's playing it out, right? Like and that's the start of like his psychosis, right? The book, like I guess, delves into all of the levels and varying incidents that show that he's really just not fit as a human, let alone fit to be president of the United States mentally. Right.
Yeah. It's amazing what people can ignore. It's funny because I'm gonna do this as a little bit of a teaser for the next show or upcoming show. So, as I mentioned to you, I was on vacation with some friends we had met when we were overseas, and they were in Hawaii, and they invited us to come out and hang out with them again.
Right.
And they're really interesting folks. They were born in Romania, lived under communist.
Sorry.
Gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Eastern European women can be pretty fucking fine.
No, she looks great. I don't know how he scored her. Somehow he landed her, but he didn't. Right. But no offense, Christian, but yeah, she could do better. But she didn't, so she stuck with him. But he's got a personality that's twice as big as he is.
He's not listening.
I was going to find out what's look at you like, what are you doing? Is there going to be guests?
Just curious. Like some of those Romanian gymnasts and shit are fucking hot. Just curious. Like Russian women. Ukrainian women.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she's Romanian.
All women.
These are more. What's funny is these differences become very important when you actually live there and you listen to their story. But it's interesting because he's got views on World War II. He's got views on Reagan and from the communist point of view.
Right.
And he still has a very good heart. He's got a very good idea, but a different viewpoint of the world.
Sure.
And so the one thing he asked me when I saw him, first thing he goes, so do you know everybody in the world is laughing at you right now, right?
Of course.
Of course we know. He goes, no, I'm serious. He goes, we think it's hilarious that you elected this clown, and we're also terrified that you elected this clown.
Yeah.
Because you're America. You're supposed to do great things. And everyone's looking back and laughing at
the ship's sinking. Duh.
And he had a choice when he immigrated. And he immigrated to Canada.
Smart move.
And he's like, man, Canada's such a great place to immigrate to. And he's like, and there's so many things that Americans say that just Canadians would never say.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with like immigrants and things like that because there's so many immigrants in Canada that you wouldn't think, to say these things. But we're going to have him on. I want to talk a little bit.
Right.
It's funny because I brought up Reagan with him a little bit. And there's a lot of people that think that there's a good chance he should have been impeached over the Iran-Contra thing.
He certainly should have faced charges.
And everyone said the country wouldn't handle that. He goes, he goes, try to understand something. He goes, that's all great. He goes, but he goes, Ronald Reagan and people like Ronald Reagan, if it wasn't for them, I would still be enslaved. He goes, I truly believe that. If it wasn't for men like himself, and men like him that caused that communist country to crumble was the only reason I was able to get out. He believes that. Now, he's going to have a lot of reasons why he believes that. But the point is, from the other side of the world, the information can be the same exact story, but they have a completely different viewpoint because they're living through it.
Well, they're living different. How he affected their lives is different than how he affected our own. There's that. So, we had direct correlation between our lives, and his is more, a distant. Like we were living in the trenches,
right?
And he's just dealing with some reverberations that there's not a whole lot of other president. I mean, everyone would have said, okay, we need to stand up to communist Russia,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think everyone, knew, it was a big rusty beast about to die.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a secret.
Right.
The military industrial, the buildup was completely unnecessary.
Right. A lot of, and then you can dig into the particular politics. But, I think I was talking
As long as we just kept being successful, the country, as capitalism kept moving forward as it was, which would have done better under a more competent economic president, that was the crushing blow.
Well, you can have this debate with Christian himself when he comes on, because he's going to have his own ideas and viewpoints from where he was sitting.
I get it, but he never got to wear jeans as a kid. That sucks.
Well,
right?
he lost his cartoon. Yeah. They took the cartoons away.
That's fucked up. I wouldn't want to live
and
there either.
He's got a lot of great things to say about his initial leader, and one of the few people that never got rich doing what he did. He was already rich.
Right.
So he only took he's got all kinds of great stories about politicians we would never would have heard of, who had to lay it on the line. And
so we're going to have the Romanian standpoint.
We got to get the Romaniac.
We got to get the other guy back on too, man.
JT Lexington is going to come on.
Yeah,
as
JT
well.
Lexington. We need our Canadian.
He's gonna fill us in on the
our Romanian and Canadian viewpoints that need to be.
Well, interesting because now, the first thing that Christian will tell you if they ask him, where's he from? He'll say Canadian. He doesn't even say Romanian until you press.
Whatever, he is a Romanian here.
What's that?
So he's not like a Canada like Chris is.
No, he's an immigrant. He immigrated 17 years ago, but he's very proud of his Canadian citizenship.
I like Canada.
Yeah, but he did the whole deal, and he laughs at Americans.
I thought about moving
a lot.
there.
He goes, my friend tells me, he goes, I got a great health plan, and it's only got a $6,000 deductible, and it covers my whole family. And he goes, only $6,000? Are you fucking stupid? He's like, are you fucking stupid?
Right? Even in Romania, you got free fucking health care, probably.
He goes, I walk into the clinic. He goes, yeah, does it take a while to see, whatever. But he goes, trust me, it's way better, way better. And if you got that kind of money, just go to the States and get your operation. What the fuck?
Even in there, you can buy extra insurance.
They actually voted that down, apparently. If you have the money to buy the extra insurance, then you have the money to go to America anyway. So don't create two classes. Because the problem is they do have weights for specialists. So they wanted to have insurance that would move you up in the line. And he's like, but then they thought, it's just going to mean rich people will get health care and poor people will get pushback. He goes, so we figure if you're rich, then just go hop.
What happens when we do the same thing to our health care?
We do it already.
No, what happens when we nationalize health care?
Do we nationalize healthcare? I don't know. It depends on how we do it. We can do a shitty job of it, which we probably will. Because
we're working on that right now.
Yeah, we're trying to make it bad. All right. Anyway, so coming up, the Romaniac and JT Lexington.
JT Lexington.
Where are we going next?
Let's just finish it off with the indictments.
Ooh, more indictment stuff?
Yeah, we didn't even get to it. We didn't talk about it at all, the 3 indictments for Manafort and his flunkies.
So the very first Mueller indictments came out. This is a big deal. Interesting to see where it's going to go from here because it feels like a teaser. You know what I mean? It feels like we didn't get the big meat yet.
No, exactly. This is absolutely just the low hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. These are the guys. One of them pleaded guilty.
Yeah, one of them.
The third guy's just like, you got me.
Yeah, it's done. I'm out.
So these guys were so dead to rights that it was they easily got nailed. I mean, the investigation hasn't gone on a year.
Right, and they're already saying that. This was back from 2014 before he got involved in the Trump, and when they figured it out, they fired him. Then there was obviously, why didn't you bring that up?
Yeah, why didn't
when
you
were questioned about it?
So then you perjured yourself too. Then
there's a lot of emails. There's a lot of emails that go back and forth that they have copies of, which discuss a lot of these things.
Perjury.
All the money laundering. They haven't even begun to tip the iceberg with that stuff.
Where's all that dirty fucking money going?
Yeah, and don't forget that Donald Trump's major Atlantic City got that fine for violating money laundering statutes. $10 million
for who? For Russians?
Russians. A lot of Russians buying his properties. A lot of Russians paying to put his name on stuff.
Yes.
Dude,
he's fucking going to get... that would be awesome. Like the Russian mob takes him out or something.
Yeah, because he's going to start talking. Yeah. I don't think he knows anything. I think he's a puppet.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Maybe you're right. But the fun thing is we get to see. And this is the thing that people keep talking about. They want to go to the Hillary thing. And I'm like, how many times did you guys go after Hillary and couldn't get her?
And what about...
For 1 minute, can you consider the fact that maybe it's because there's nothing to get? Maybe she didn't do anything? Like,
how many people in the Trump administration right now are using their own And for some reason,
And you give them someone to hate.
that uppity bitch, Hillary Clinton, is really the focus of that hate.
They did a good job of crucifying her.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, she didn't hurt with her sparkling personality.
She's definitely not a likable person. That's just the reality.
That's the reality of it. So,
I'm pretty sure I saw her hugging this little girl during the campaign season, and I'm pretty sure that she was going to bite her head off at any moment. I'd like she's going to eat that child right on TV, right on television.
She seems like it, doesn't she?
Yes. Her mouth's going to extend in some human way.
If she didn't, you almost wonder if she didn't have to be nice to people as a politician, what she would really be like.
Like, how many people has she stabbed? That's what I wonder. Everyone's like, oh, emails. I'm like, I bet she's killed some people.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, I'll give them that a lot of people do find themselves dead around the Clintons. That is definitely, But again, anything important?
No.
Nothing coming in? All right. So... so the indictments are coming down. I think it's just a warm up. We're all there. We're going to wait and see what the real power is. But.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing I wanted to bring about this was, so it was one of the guys. He's like the lead. He was a lead prosecutor, and he was he does shit for CNN and a bunch of other stations. He's like, yeah, this is just. I'm just telling you right now, this is just the beginning. Mm-hmm. He's like, this is how this unfolds. Right. He goes, they are just now knocking down the players who they caught immediately. There is going to be a whole other level because people are going to start fucking turning.
Well, Manafort's looking at 80 years in prison, 70 years in prison, which is basically life sentence.
Yeah.
So he's got all the incentive in the world.
Basically, you kidding me? He's already like 50 something, isn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. You can just look at him and know he's minimum in his 50s.
Yeah. So even he gets 20 years, that's too much.
It's all done.
Yeah, he can't handle that. Let's start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Long time business partner rigging.
But again, a grand jury
12 count indictment. You don't get away from 12 count indictments.
No, not all 12.
It's gonna get ugly, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, but these rich guys never go to jail, so
who cares? Just get him out. I mean, I just want to get the shitty fucking guy out of office. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, and they said, if he fires Mueller, which currently they say he's not going to, but he's being warned by a lot of
Nixon
people.
did.
But
if he fires him, the clamp.
Well, if he fires Mueller, guaranteed that he'll be impeached almost immediately. Mm-hmm. This gives the Republicans a way to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Because they probably think they can work with Pence. I'm guessing they think they can work with Pence because he's one of the team players.
Yeah, he was a senator.
Yeah, and he's a whack-a-job.
Yeah.
But he was a senator.
He was a senator.
He was a senator before he was a governor?
For Indiana. Or governor of Indiana.
Governor of
All
Indiana.
right, it's governor of Indiana. That's right. Yeah.
So they may think they
punch that Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I know it's not right to want to fight women, but I would punch that.
She's got
bitch.
that permanently condescending eyebrow thing going on.
Her tone.
Right.
Like, who the fuck are you backwoods hillbilly?
Well, you know what?
We got the saying with cowboys and steers and...
Yeah.
You live in Arkansas. There's no fucking cowboys in Arkansas.
I miss Sean Spicer just because of the comedic relief.
Wow, he was a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, you could kind of, I don't know.
It's okay to kick a guy in the nuts, but you can't kick a chick in the vagina. So then then it's just a whole other world of horrible.
Yeah.
So it's what are you gonna do? Terrible. Like what I liked about her. So obviously there's all this shit coming out about with the Weinstein. Now everybody's sexually harassed, but it was a big deal. I'm not trying to. I mean, it should have been something
minimized, right? No,
not trying to minimize it at all, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, where was your outrage when all these women were coming forward with Donald Trump? Like, you should have been more outraged. This was the guy who's going to be president of the United fucking States. Like, Harvey Weinstein just makes fucking movies. He's in reality, he should be nothing. Like, this guy is going to run the country and 50 tape saying he's a pussy grabber, and this fucking bitch stands up there and says, "Oh well, everyone's lying." Like, what kind of soul do you have as a woman?
Yeah.
What kind of soul do you have as a person?
And I show, but history's going to look back at these people, and it's not going to be that long before all these people.
You mean by history, like you and me, because that seems to be the only fucking people who look back at history.
When he goes down, when this president gets evaluated, all these people that carried his water are going to have a lot to answer for. Be it in 10 years, be it in 100 years.
Yeah, they're not going to get a job.
Well, but they're going to be laughed at. by
Maybe
historians.
some evangelical give him a job.
They're going to be looked at in,
Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas.
It's kind of funny because, again, my buddy Christian has a lot to say about this kind of stuff because he saw it from the other side.
Right.
Or he didn't see it, but his family did. He fought on the side of Germany.
Right.
I don't think they were given an option, but he has a wholly different way to look at the way the German army was handled and the war was handled and all kinds of interesting stuff.
We're talking about Huckabee Sanders. Get back on topic.
I can't. That's what you're here for. Huckabee Standard. I'm done with her.
So
she's a mouthpiece. She's a mouthpiece that just shouts people down.
But that should be something. So we got now. Let's just tap these things, right?
Into things.
We got the indictments, which obviously at some point are going to implicate. There's no way that there was collusion among his campaign. Russians who were trying to influence politics in the United States of America and launder money. So, I mean, so you got all that. And then you have now all the women, they came back. Like, hey, we're still here. Trump still sexually molested all of us.
It wasn't like...
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you continue to fucking defend this piece of shit?
Yeah. How can you just turn the page?
Yeah. I mean, how do you not want to fight him? Like, I don't get it. Like, how is a man, and you're standing in that room, you do not knock that cocksucker out? Like, you can't be a man. You can't be. You can have no moral compass or backbone. You stand in the same room with that guy and don't punch him in the face. None.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
No. That was good heated thoughts. You
Fuck that.
I like it.
All right.
You still want to punch him in the face.
Before I have a heart attack on national television.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's at some point, to be honest with you, it's sometimes it gets to the point where you have to start getting angry with people.
Yeah.
And stop saying, okay, you know what, this is too much. I'm not even going to play this game with you anymore. It's like
I wonder if she has a daughter. I'm like, so how would you feel? Like, I mean, I know as a big brother, I had a guy that groped my sister, grabbed her pussy, and I took care. I know how I reacted as a big brother. Like, how as a mother, some guy did that to your daughter. Like, how could you just not? I mean, you think that's an isolated incident? You know what I'm saying? That somehow this guy hasn't been systemically abusing his position to hurt women.
Yeah, they have to do some pretty serious logical, manipulation of their brain in order to stand up there and support this guy the way that they do. It's kind of almost bizarre to watch, and it almost makes you wonder. When are we the puppet, the puppet empire? Like, you see other countries do this and you just like laugh at them. And
right.
They're laughing at us.
Because we're being the same way. They're using them. He's using. Yeah. Christ. All right.
It's painful, folks.
Just fucking vote in the midterms. I'll say it again and again. For Christian fucking cinema.
The angry.
Okay. Just vote for her. Just do a shot, go and vote for her. But hey, let's end things on a bright note. Because, John McCain was in that group of people telling Trump to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. So this is an excerpt from his speech. I really like it. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by military-industrial complex. The potential for wait, that's not.
That's
what the fuck is this?
That's Ike.
That's not the one I put. Hold on a second.
That's Eisenhower you're quoting, I think.
It is. I thought I copied over that.
We have a copy and paste error here at the Damn It Jim show. Damn it, Jim. No more copy and paste.
Shit. Anyway, I thought I had grabbed his quote.
Yeah. Well, he's made a couple of speeches.
Damn it.
And so did George W. Bush, all on these same positive topics. So you've got people.
Sports. So I wanted one last word on Hef, because something I kind of came to afterwards about, like what influence did he have on me? It helped me stop apologizing for my own male intensity. Right. That's just who you are. That's part of being. There needs to be properly channel those things. Right.
Right.
But that I find so often. And that it's you. Like, look, there's a reason you're upset, and you should do something about it. I mean, just
Yeah. Well, there's the two, there's the reptilian side of the brain that wants to hit, hurt, harm, do the immediate thing. Right. And then there's the intelligent part of the brain that realizes that you need to exercise those emotions, like maybe go hit a bag for a while and then come back and make a logical decision. So it separates humans from others.
Understand your outrage.
Understand your outrage. Now let's take steps that, because obviously the main reason that you don't knock out Trump is because you can't do the time. And you'd be dead.
I would do it for all America.
I think you might take him out knowing you're going to get taken out.
No, I wouldn't kill him. No way. I would just hit him really hard. One time, that's it.
All right,
just to show that you can't, you're not untouchable. Like you will be accountable. That's to me what that kind of like killing. No.
Yeah.
You have to show that you're accountable in some way. And just shooting him doesn't teach him a lesson.
Well, this and I agree with you 100%. This is why one of the reasons people, when Al Capone got taken out by tax evasion,
right?
Using, the way he did. No, Tank Abbott.
Oh,
even before Brock. Oh, Tank Abbott. Because nobody really knew what jiu-jitsu was yet, and he got tapped out. I think with his ankle lock. Mm-hmm. And his thing was, I never want to lose a fight that way, and I never want to win a fight that way.
Right.
But what was so dissatisfying was why the victory was so much better was because he got taken out by something he had no idea. It seemed like it was nothing, but it completely neutralized him.
Right.
Al Capone went through the same thing. That's why with Trump, the beauty of it is if he did do anything illegal, let's assume that we're still going to find out, and he gets caught for it, and he gets thrown away, that to him is going to be so much more painful than almost any other way.
Right. He's going to fight tooth and nail, man. That's the thing. He's got the keys to the castle.
He will fight tooth and nail.
And dirty and lies and just oceans of lies.
Right.
Oceans.
But when that stops working because you live in a democratic country that's a republic that is run by laws, and he cannot get outside of the law, no matter how hard he tries.
Those judges he dogs on all the time.
That is going to be so much more painful to him.
Suck it, bitch.
And that's what I think he deserves.
I hope it's a Gonzalez or something that's over his trial. Somebody like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or a black guy. I don't care. Anyone who is not white. That'd be great.
Or a woman. It almost might be better if some angry cracker put him in jail.
Right.
Because you can't turn on me. You're one of my own.
Right.
You're not one of our own. You're not one of us, Donald. You're not. You never have been. And you probably got your ass kicked in school quite a bit.
He didn't go to school.
That's not for the people who got their ass kicked in school. That's not fair to them.
He didn't go to school.
You're right. He was homeschooled by.
Yeah. All right. So I kind of went sideways. So went
sideways on Hef. Went from Hef to beating up on Trump again. Where are we going next? Here on the DammitJim show.
Let's go into sports. Let's talk about some football. It's going to be light.
About the fact that you want to talk about the Bears touchdown that wasn't? No.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I think that brings up a really good point about NFL football in general, and that now how it is such a slave to the replay to the point it just is hurting the game.
Yeah.
The
same thing's happening in baseball. But go on.
What I love about the rule, or what they've been doing lately, and it's been working fairly well, is if only indisputable evidence can change the ruling on the field. Indisputable. The ball, everyone sees it. The ball obviously hits the ground as he's rolling. Right. It did not. You could not see the ball hitting the ground until he was, the catch was over and he's crumpled down in pain and he drops the ball.
Right.
The catch, that's a touchdown.
He's already rolled out of it, which the referee advisor analyst that they have on the air said the roll is not part of the catch.
Yeah.
Once he hit the ground and maintained control, when he rolled on top of that, the play's over.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Now, here's the only thing that he said that I can possibly fathom would be a reasonable excuse for this. And he said that there was another play, and I can't remember which one it was, but there was camera angles available to him that the public didn't see, that didn't get broadcast.
Oh, that's fucking crap.
So they would have, he goes, well, this is what the guy said. He goes, that's a wrong call unless, seriously, there's a camera angle that shows something that we've never seen.
The perfect angle.
That would be the only thing that I can think of. Otherwise, I don't understand how he came to this conclusion.
None.
And it was funny because I did talk to Zach Miller and see how he's doing because he had to have vascular surgery. It was not
to reconstruct his leg.
I asked him how he's doing, and they said all he wants is his touchdown back.
That's just,
He's like, I'm fine. I want my touchdown back because that was some bullshit.
It was such a beautiful play, a beautiful throw.
It was.
And the guy, he holds the ball as his leg gets snapped in half.
Yeah.
And the NFL takes that away, and they somehow think that's good for the game.
No, I don't think they think it's good for the game. I think they just, you walk into these things.
But when you take it to this degree,
that's the problem.
That's my point. You take it to this degree
because baseball's having the same issue. Baseball is having issues where they're reviewing plays, where they're getting down into a frame. Of was he safe or was he out? And they can get it down to the frame and go, he did. There was one, it went to the Cubs' favor where the guy beat the throw back to first base, but as he threw, he kind of came off the bag for a split second, and Rizzo just had his glove on him the whole time. So when this hand came off right before the foot touched again, even though he already slid past he already touched the base, slid past the base, all that stuff. Well, technically speaking, he was out. It was the correct call. A call that would never have been made in 150 years of baseball because no human being could ever see that.
Right.
It's impossible, but that's the law of now you're making calls on stuff. Like baseball used to be run by the old in the neighborhood call. Like if the ball beats you, you're out. If you beat the ball, you're safe. Because it's just
how goes the runner.
It's pop. It's too fast.
How goes the runner.
For the humans to always see every little thing. It happens. Now, if you miss the tag, you've got to catch
Arguing with the umpire is a part of baseball. It should happen. Kick dirt on him, throw a base at him. Yeah. That's just part of the game.
So they're allowing replay to go too far.
Yeah.
It's not fixing egregious things. It's fixing even things that. I mean, that guy beat the throw by plenty. The fact that he came off the bag for a split second is sort of like this in the neighborhood thing. You're like, it's a ticky-tack. And baseball never had that before.
Zach caught that fucking ball, period. And that could have been the last catch of that guy's career.
It could be.
You fucking pieces of shit.
And you took it away.
Yeah, and fuck you. Because Bears could have won that game on top of that. It changes the whole entire momentum of the game. The outlook of the game. And it would, man. Because Trubinsky, the kid needs a little something to help him, obviously. And a touchdown pass like that, of that magnitude, would have definitely been something in the right direction.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think now that you've gone down this road, I don't know how you back up again. Because we'll always have the footage. We can always go back and go, the call was wrong, the call was wrong.
No, but it's like if undisputable. You can't tell me that there was undisputed evidence in that replay. There just isn't. Right. To overturn the guy on the field. It has to be,
crystal
completely blown call, which happens.
Yeah.
And the replay catches those things. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But come on. Fuck.
I hear you.
Yeah, so that sucked. But let's just, in general, what really bothered me about that game, because another game that was on national television, by the way. I didn't have to leave the house.
Oh, good for you.
It was the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 1, 4th and 1, rookie quarterback, they call passes. Mm-hmm. And you got two of the best running backs, arguably.
Yeah.
In football.
And a fantastic running tandem.
Yeah. Cohen still obviously has to go through a whole year, but he's one. I'm going to say he's going to be one of the best scat third down backs in the league at some point.
Yeah, right? Whatever. He's still super.
Howard is already a fucking all pro.
Yeah, he's a beast. Runs over people.
Pro bowler, whatever the fuck.
He still doesn't catch the pass very well, but other than
that was just deflating too. God, he catches that pass, it's fucking 7 points again, 6 points again.
Yeah, he's dropped a lot of really big passes,
but
he's still.
But see, that goes back to the play calling. Okay. Yeah. Why isn't Tariq Cohen running that route?
Yeah.
Right? Like they're not using that kid the way they the way they should. They're not maximizing him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They need pass sets where Howard and him are both in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the kid runs a route or whatever. You know what I mean? They need him in more formations where it's not obvious whatever he's going to do, because that's going to break the play. That's going to get the mismatch. Right?
Yeah. At first we were afraid they're going to fall too in love with this kid.
Now you're not even using him.
Not using him, and Trubisky could use a lot of that.
Yeah, they got it, and they get him going upfield, get him in a screen pass, get him run. There's so many ways you could get him the ball in so that he can get in space.
Yeah,
and he's a good pass catcher. So the kid, yeah, exactly, and Trubinsky could use that.
I think Trubisky could use that. He could use he needs a big receiver. He needs a guy.
Well, this kid that they got from San Diego, or not San Diego, LA now, he's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
So he's tall.
Yeah.
See how he does.
I'm 6'3".
Yeah, well, 6'3" is tall for a receiver.
Yeah, I'm not getting a contract, I don't think. I'm an unrestricted free agent. They're looking.
I don't think you could run a 6-second or even a 7-second 40-yard dash, dude.
Detail. That's how they would know what to expect me.
Handoff. It was like watching Ditka, but then they don't have the offensive line to do that anymore.
Right.
the play calling was so bad and so predictable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when they're rolling out Trubinsky, they're rolling him out to so he's throwing against his body. Great, he can do it. Okay, great.
Right.
But why would you put him in that position as a rookie? Mm-hmm. Let him get good at rolling out to his strong side first.
Yeah.
Before you're like, okay, roll out and throw the hardest possible pass in the game against your body and running the other way.
Right.
Great idea.
Because you can, but
okay.
But he also made some great throws.
The kid's got a great arm.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why not put him in a place where he can succeed? Like, get him in rolling in the direction he should be rolling.
That's probably some of the questions that are being asked this week, I think. And they're
the play calling was killing me. Like, and honestly, I haven't felt this way about Loggins yet. Mm-hmm. I thought I felt he had called fairly good games. Fairly. Not great, but good. Mm-hmm. This one was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Against, a defense has played a lot better, but still it's the Saints. You can put some points, you can move the ball on these guys.
Yeah.
So,
but the defense, though.
Defense was great.
The defense is
it's top-notch defense, no doubt about it.
They're really coming together. It's really getting fun to watch.
Man, they're fun. I mean, they're fun. Three Goldman, the white dude, Urim, whatever he is, and Hicks. Keem Hicks, that guy is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, just watching him. I mean, they can't block him. 6'6", 350.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them dude that size coming at you?
No, I don't want to imagine that.
No. He's a tank.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. The Patriots passed on that guy. Wow, could they use him?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Thank you, Hey, Bill Belichick made a minor mistake. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah. Well, you see they just dealt Garofalo to San Francisco.
For what? What did they get?
I don't know. I didn't see the deal.
I saw the headline, too. I didn't see what they got.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. I saw also that...
hold on. Second round draft pick.
That's it?
No, there's a little bit more, but... Yeah, there's... No, sorry. The thing just popping back in my head.
Luckily for you,
you got that. You got the Google.
Have ESPN. Right, hell.
All right, yeah.
But ESPN. And then also, Seattle traded for a left tackle from Houston. The guy, I guess, I didn't realize this. Their starter has been on holdout, and sending huge reversion player recently. Why trade for Glavin now instead of the end of the season? Yeah, they traded. All right, great. I don't really care about that. What did they trade? Okay, now it's
we need a production assistant. He's looking this stuff up for us.
Jimmy G's set fit for short term. Okay, so yeah, you're right. It was right.
Second round draft pick.
They made their move, trading their 2018 second round pick to the Patriots for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. That's all they got is this 2018 second round draft pick for it. I mean. What do you think? Tom Brady's going to play forever?
I don't know. That was the first thing that I heard on the radio today when I heard about the trade.
They didn't get any need. They got no need.
Do they have a backup quarterback now? Who's their backup? Because they got Bissett. They had Bissett.
He's gone.
Obviously Garoppolo was the main guy. But who do they have? Anybody? What are they going to do? Because
he's 40 years old. Are they fucking stupid?
And the thing about it is, football players, when their career ends, sometimes they end in a heartbeat. They just suddenly just suck.
Especially, and he's. What's really baffling too is he's been hit more, Tom Brady, this year than he has in a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
He's already hit the sacks he had all last season.
Right.
So
there's only so much.
Wow, this is really strange to me.
Yeah.
And he's young, he's competent, he's good, he knows the system. Brady's not going to play for that. I don't care what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another year. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean. Whatever, he's going to go down or stop playing imminently. Like there's a window, where he walks out there and he looks like an old man. His back is hunched over and his ass is no longer big enough to hold, fill out his pants. You ever see those guys? Like I don't know what happens to old white guys where their butt goes away when they hit like 40.
Strange that you're looking at old white guys' butts.
No, I'm looking at their pants that are sagging and they're not that tight and firm. I like a nice tight firm.
Somehow I want this conversation to change.
Well, I made you uncomfortable, so I just had to keep going.
I'm looking at the Patriots roster right now. Let's look at their depth chart. Let's see who is the backup to Tom. No, there is nobody else on the roster. There's no other quarterback on the roster right now.
That's awesome. What happens if he sprains his ankle?
What? It's just right now, Tom Brady, Garofalo.
If he sprains his ankle, they must have somebody on the practice squad they're going to bring up. They have to. They got to have somebody. Someone's got to carry the clipboard, for fuck's sake. Someone's got to be the holder.
Dude. I mean, this is their roster. I'm looking at it right now.
I don't know what's going on here.
All right, let me look at the full roster. Maybe they got a quarterback on there that's not a no depth chart.
That's the thing we need to add. I think it would be fun. We need to add the Rudder Sports Report. He'd do a good sports report.
There's no one else on the roster that's a quarterback with Tom Brady as of right now.
Roto would probably tell you, just grab somebody out of North Carolina. They're all great. Thanks, Connor Barth.
Wow, that guy sucks.
Yeah, well, they tell you Rudder pulled everybody because Connor Barth was going to kick a field goal, and he pulled everybody over to watch it.
Probably missed it.
And then he missed it. And I'm like, thanks, dude. North Carolina blows. So he texted me a picture of Michael Jordan in a football helmet.
Whatever.
He's a homer. Well, Chris Trubisky was North Carolina, so now we're stuck with that.
Well, let's talk about that lad a bit. Because, I think he's showing flashes. I'm not saying that the kid, they should give up on him, anything like that at all, right? So,
no, he's
going
to be fine.
Here is the real crux of the issue. Have you seen what Deshaun Watson's doing in Houston?
Yes.
19 touchdown passes already. 19 touchdown passes already.
You ranted on this last time we had a show.
So we're doing it again.
That's fine.
And granted, again, he has Deshaun Hopkins or whatever his name is.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins, that guy. And Will Fuller.
Yeah.
But, all right. And I'm not, this is against Mitch. This is against Pace.
I know where you're going.
Giving up the draft pick.
Yeah.
And he could have had either one at that. And, of course, O'Brien is a bit of a quarterback whisperer, allegedly.
Allegedly. He just never had one to work with. So now he does, and look what's happened.
I guess.
Maybe.
Of course, working with Tom Brady makes everybody look good, apparently. Right? Because that's who he worked with.
Yeah, when he was quarterback. Was he quarterback coach, or what was his position under Belichick?
Something like that. Offensive coordinator.
Or should I say his fucking position? Because that guy uses the F-bomb more than almost anybody I've ever met.
World Series.
Or heard of.
Or anything else about the Bears?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the baseball season.
Oh, hey, let's one more thing. One more thing about the Bears. Eddie Jackson. We did, a couple weeks ago, he had those 2 touchdowns. That kid, I got to get, so on the scale of pace, fuck-ups, and wins, I'll give him the Eddie Jackson win.
There you go.
And the Tariq Cohen win. And I'm not saying, like I said, Mitch, I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I'm just saying they did need to give up the draft. Kind of looked like a dumb shit for giving up those draft picks.
Yeah, it didn't, the more, especially now that we've seen it all play out.
And if you could get more guys, like if you had more guys in your quiver, with Tariq Cohen and Eddie Jackson, you could have gotten this draft. Think of how much better the Bears would be.
Yeah. My only defense for him is, he probably had a gut feeling and something told him he's got to get this kid. He's got to do everything he can to make sure he gets him. And he probably, no, it's bullshit. He should have just waited. I can't even make that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right? It's just garbage.
I can't do it.
There's no way to go with this. There's
no.
But yeah. Anything else in the NFL?
Nope. I think we're good on the NFL. It is what it is. I don't want to deal with the kneeling shit or whatever. I'm done with that.
My point on that is, why the fuck do you care what a football player does? I sure shit don't.
You know what they're doing now? They're not playing the national anthem on TV anymore.
I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care if they stand. I don't care if they sit.
Now nobody has it. Yeah,
I don't fucking care what a football player. They have no influence on my life on the fucking 2.5 hours I watch the game. And all I want them to do when they do that, play fucking football. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what
don't fucking care. I don't care what Aaron, whatever, or what. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers says. I don't care what fucking Colin Kaepernick has to say. I don't give a fuck. And guess what? When they talk, I don't fucking listen. Don't care.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. In hindsight, you wonder what Roger Goodell said. You know what? That's it. Everybody stays in the locker room for the national anthem because the national anthem is not about football.
Right.
National anthem, the national anthem.
Yeah.
And then these guys will come out and they'll play football.
Yeah.
If they want to protest, they can protest. They're American citizens. They can protest, but they're not going to do it during our game because this is my game. I own it, not them.
All right.
We're paid to do a job. I'm their boss. This is the way it works in the corporate world. You will get fame, so you can go protest and do whatever you want. But that's kind of thing. Now, of course, I'm working with hindsight.
Right.
But just stick them all in the locker room because essentially that's what they've done by taking it off the air. Now if you want to know if somebody kneels, you have to go to the news because you didn't see it live, so you don't even know.
That's stupid.
Now so many people are kneeling that we don't even know who kneeled and who didn't kneel anymore.
We didn't even know when Kaepernick was kneeling, as I've said many times. No one knew for like 3 games.
Because he didn't make a big deal out of it. Now, where he killed himself was when he started wearing like the pig socks or whatever. I don't know, whatever bullshit he was doing with.
Well, it got publicized stuff. And it got,
And then he told people he didn't vote. I mean, he's a dumb kid. I'm sorry, but that's just a dumb thing to say. If you didn't vote, shut up about it.
Really bad hairdo.
Yeah, he really had a lot of bad hairdos.
I mean, just ease off on the afro, dude. I mean, it's just a little much.
It is, but
I mean, cool in the 1970s, but not so much. No, sorry. Yeah, so let's talk about baseball since you're all salty about it.
So why be salty about baseball?
It's pretty. I didn't really. I watched the. It's funny. I watched the NLCS and the ALCS, a few of those games.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really watched any of the World Series games.
Oh, there've been a couple epic. Like the one last night was.
That's supposed to be great. 13-12.
Yeah, 5.5 hours.
God, that's too much for baseball.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Yeah, right.
But if my team would have been in that game, that would have been incredible. Just because so much back and forth or whatever. And now they're saying that the ball is slicker. You know, Jason Verlander was like, they're saying the ball is exactly the same. Like, yeah, I've been holding this ball since I was a kid. And it's not just me. A few players have said it.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know about this storyline.
No, and then they're wondering, and the thing is, like, could you imagine if it gets found out that the major leagues did juice the ball?
For the World Series?
You think Deflategate was a big deal?
Dude, they let A-Rod be a fucking color announcer. Why wouldn't they juice the ball? Like, what levels won't they stoop to?
He's actually
Mark
a really good
McGwire
announcer.
is a fucking coach.
Yeah.
So what levels will
Because
they not
everybody-
stoop to? You know what I'm saying? There's no rules. Come on.
They're just not getting caught, I guess.
Yeah.
But here, yeah. So anyway, Verlander's
It's like
comments were
fucking
pretty
wrestling.
funny, though. It was pretty funny. It's like they're saying they're manufactured exactly the same. He's like, okay, you can trust them or trust me. Take your pick. I'm just saying. I've been
Right.
holding this ball since I was a kid.
Right.
And this is not the same thing. And a bunch of different pitchers. And so now I don't know what's going to come of that. But they said, listen, they had Kliegel and Kershaw go last night.
Yeah.
Two of like the most prolific pitchers, and you had a 13 to neither one of them.
Both of them got shelled.
Yeah, which is like, no, something weird. But, or maybe they're just getting hit and they're using excuses. Who knows? But I just can't believe the baseball.
But Verlander's been awesome. See, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's been lights the fuck out in the
Lights out
playoffs.
for quite a
And
bit.
since he got to Houston, he's been lights out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he's saying it's fucked up, but he's still performing, I think that has a lot more weight.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's it called? And he gets the ball tomorrow. Verlander does.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think. But yeah, but even like Kershaw's only given up.
They can put talc on their hands.
Yeah. I don't know.
They can have a resin bag out there.
Yeah, they have a resin bag out there to take the sweat off their hand, but I don't think they can put talc on the ball itself. I think it's just a drying agent.
Yeah,
but they all lick their fingers and wipe their hair.
Yeah,
and
dude, they're fucking massaging the bastard.
Yeah,
Come
they're doing all kinds of stuff.
That's part of the game.
Yeah. I think it was it Phil Necro, the one that had the file in his pocket, and he reached
Supposedly
into
he did a lot of things. Some people sandpaper. Like all
well,
kinds
he
of
was caught on camera where he put his hand in his pocket to pull his pockets out to show he didn't have anything, but he had the little blade and he like threw the blade away or the emery file away as he did it. And on camera you see it going. He's like, I got nothing. Like, what's that?
Awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Almost as good as when
was that,
Robert
like
Ventura.
1954 or something?
About. Yeah. Yeah, when I was getting my master's degree. Such an asshole.
So
Is that
yeah,
when
it
you
looks
won the
like
show?
the Houston Astros are going to win it. They look like they're going to pull it out. It
Well,
seems.
they're up 3-2.
Verlander's on the mound.
They got the most prolific offense in baseball by quite a bit.
Yeah, all those guy names that I can't pronounce, they all can really hit.
But that Hunter kid that plays third for the Dodgers, the guy with the Viking, the ginger with the big
he's
beard.
not hit during the World Series though.
I know. I'm surprised they're pitching to him. He's hit. No, he's had some. He's been putting the ball in the. I don't know,
Right
but he's not
now.
doing
See
great.
who's in the World Series.
And when the Cubs were playing, I'm like, why do you even pitch to this guy?
And he did the same thing to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he killed the Diamondbacks too.
I mean, he was
But even when he makes an out, he scares you. I feel like
he was incredible in that series against Diamondback. He killed them.
Yeah,
Just like he did the Cubs.
killed the Cubs.
Oops, wrong team.
Now, the Cubs have they've cleaned house pretty big time.
And their staff.
Well, they've just lost Dave Martinez. The Nationals hired him. That's been Joe Madden's bench coach since 2008. And he's with the Rays. They fired Bosio, the pitching coach. They fired Malley, the hitting coach.
They definitely should have fired their pitching coach.
Yeah, well, he's gone. They brought in the dude that was, and he's got a famous name, and it's escaping me, but I think he has to come for an interview, but it's kind of almost like a joke. Like, you're really going to interview the best pitching coach in the majors. But I don't think he's the best, but
No,
he was the guy he had
in
in,
pitching.
but Joe likes him a lot. And they brought in Chili Davis to be a hitting coach because as much as they talk about how the pitching failed them in the playoffs, bullshit. They scored 1 run in 3 of those games.
Right.
If you score 1 run in 3 games, you've just lost the series.
Last 7 days, 20 at bats. He's batting 150.
Okay, so he's not doing so well, but he's been hitting the ball hard. I think.
I
don't know. I'm not watching
the
the World
previous
Series.
2 series, man.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. The baseball season ended when the Cubs got knocked out. it's very sad. They're going to get rid of a bunch of players. Now they're going to deal some people. I think Schwarber's gone. I think I'm going to send him to the American League where he belongs. Hopefully get some big arms. We need some...
you need pitching.
We need pitching.
There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I mean, when they brought in Rondon, I was like, you got to be shitting me. He's going to give up... I mean, I called the Grand Slam, and everyone just turned to me and was like, well, I guess you called it. I'm like, I know, but every time that guy comes in, they light him up.
Massive destruction.
So he needs to be gone.
Well...
So that's the Cubs.
So, you know, I thought of something. I was thinking, you know,
what do you got?
Why I like Halloween.
Okay. Why do you like Halloween?
By Sideshow Todd. Because I love Halloween because it's one of the holidays the Christians couldn't get rid of. It is a 100% pure Celtic pagan holiday that they had to co-opt into incorporate because the pagans wouldn't give it up. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole idea of like it's the one day the dead can come through and you have to you dress like one so that they, you know, don't affect you in some negative way and all the good fun things about Halloween.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it survived the Christian scrubbing that, you know, was tried to applied by the church. Mm-hmm. Get all out all bad.
It will get back
like,
against the church.
Fuck you.
I think it's fun because some of the best stories I know happened on Halloween.
Yeah.
I think some of the girls I know have dressed in some of the most awesome costumes because they just, you know, it just gives them license to be a little bit more fun. And then there was one girl who I didn't particularly care for, who I got to witness her her walk of shame because she was at a party. Oh. We were at a party. She was dressed as a devil. I'm not going to mention her name. Don't think she'll be on the show. And but she ended up going home with somebody other than her date. Right. And then so she had to get back to my girlfriend at the time's apartment. So she wakes up in some strange guy's apartment and has to walk home in the morning in her little devil's outfit with her makeup running and everything in the rain. And I think she broke a heel, or for some reason I think she didn't have any shoes. Like her shoes either got lost or one of them was broken or whatever. So this girl had to walk home in the rain in the morning the day after Halloween.
Right.
Just a little bit of like karmic justice, I thought. Because,
wow, you're kind of a vindictive prick.
Well, she left her boyfriend at the party to go home with a different... I mean, that was rough.
So I say fuck the Christians, and you say fuck this broad. Is what you're saying?
Not her particularly. I mean, she wasn't a bad person. I shouldn't say that, but it just she did it. It was like one of those instant karma things. You know, you did a bullshit move. She even said herself, she's like, "Yeah, I really fucking deserve that." To go try walking home in the rain where everybody could see exactly what happened. There was just no question. Luckily, it was Chicago, and you know she wasn't the only one walking home in the rain by herself, but.
It's true. Happens a lot in Halloween, Chicago. A lot of rain.
But cool things happen on Halloween. I did discover that it was a big deal for the gay community by accident. When I was in college, we started to go dancing at this place called Chester Street, which was kind of like a dance bar and kind of a gay bar because it was the only dance bar on campus. And the gays kind of like that's where they decided to hang out the most. So it wasn't like a real gay bar per se.
Of course, it was 1965 or something.
We stumbled in there on Halloween. Yeah. Wow. We didn't realize this is their holiday. You think we do Halloween? Fuck that. You should go to a gay party on Halloween. They go ape shit. It was actually a fucking hilarious time because they had a whole drag show. They were super cool. You couldn't tell who was what. It was just It was like off the hook.
I'm real surprised you couldn't tell who was what.
Yeah, they're very, very creative with their costuming. I'm telling you. It was a good time. But you know, it's like, oh, okay, good to know.
Indeed.
Note to self. I also discovered that Black Windows in Chicago meant it was a gay bar. Me and my buddy.
Well, you've seen a lot about gay bars in Chicago, Jim.
Well, you know, I grew up in the north side.
Good point.
So,
glad you admitted it.
Hey, I know where I live. I have no problem with it. But it was funny because we were so naive. We walk into this bar. It's called Berlin.
Maybe that should have been
we were young. And, you know, it was like a high school. It was like a junior high dance. All the guys were on one side.
Because gay guys don't seem to have any shame.
No, they just weren't interested in the girls, and the girls were interested in them.
Oh, I see. There were actual girls there. I thought you meant like literal, figurative kind of thing.
No. I mean, like the lesbians were on one side and the dudes were on the other. And we didn't think anything of it for a minute, and then I was like, you know what, Ben? We should probably finish our beer and go. Why? Well, he's like, oh, okay.
That's what that flag means.
Now I get it. Sorry.
Thanks for the flag, by the way, gay people.
And so
helps us all out.
How did you know? Like the guy's like, you didn't know what the black windows meant? Like, no.
The flag makes more sense.
The flag?
The rainbow flag is very helpful.
This might have been pre-rainbow flag,
I
actually.
I think that was like a mid-'90s thing. You were probably...
I don't know when the flag thing came out. I just knew that, whatever.
I was retired by then.
I could have been retired. I rode my horse to the bar, to tell you.
Yeah, ooh, nice. So, yay, Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. I love fucking Halloween.
All right, let's see.
So, keep giving the Christians the stink eye. So we talked about the Bears. There's not much to talk about with the Bulls. It's a little rough. I think
weren't they terrible?
Well, they're rebuilding. I really, really don't like Fred Hoiberg. I think he needs to fucking go. I think he's a terrible coach. He doesn't handle players. Like half of the NBA coach is how you handle these professionals.
Right.
Like it's not just X's and O's.
You're managing these man boys with
millions of dollars. Getting the most out of these guys. Mm-hmm. Look at what goes on in San Antonio, right?
Oh yeah,
that guy he can get anything out of anybody.
Yeah,
he can, and that's not at all what Fred Hoiberg shows, in my opinion. So fuck you, Fred Hoiberg. Get the fuck out of town.
All right,
nobody wants you in Chicago.
Sideshow Todd once again with his very wishy-washy opinions.
Oh, that's right.
You never really know where you stand, except for maybe with his boot on your throat.
That's rude. A little much. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody.
Putting boot to ass.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you for joining the DammitJim Show. We'll be back at some point soon.
Peace.
Bye-bye, everybody. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is the DammitJim post show because I still got to push the magic button. Thank you. And